Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com, and this will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, July 12th. On that note, hopefully everybody did have a good week, but as traders, we always got to be looking forward, so let's look into Monday. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are a technical trader, somebody that uses technical analysis within your decision-making process as a trader, or who knows, maybe you're just interested in learning more about the tool of charts, how they can be used to formulate trade plans and make wise decisions, then this will be a video for you. And also on that note, if you are interested in learning more as I go through the presentation and you're starting to see the value of how these can truly be used as a tool to make trade plans, make wise decisions, then I do offer a live class that I'm offering this Thursday that will be on, let's see, what is that, July 15th. So if you're interested, if you're watching on YouTube, just down in the description section, click on the link, or if you're at claytrader.com, you can click on various areas on the screen. But yeah, like I said, just keep that in the back of your mind. If you are enjoying what you're seeing, you see the value, but do you want to learn more? Do you want to learn more about how to actually use them to build and how charts should be used? Then, like I said, just keep this class in mind. That's totally free, and you can sign up for it. First one here, ticker symbol AMC, and this will sound a little goofy, but it's meant as a compliment. But AMC really didn't do anything today. But like I said, that is a compliment. How so? Well, let's actually factor in the context now from Thursday, where the price made a very, very impressive bounce. From there, all the way up to there. And this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have traded for a while. But if you have, I'm sure you've seen stocks that have made very big bounces, and then the next day just completely rolls back over, gives back all the gains. But that didn't happen here. Again, sure, the price didn't do anything really, but part of not doing anything is, well, the price also, that means it didn't roll back over. So it did just go sideways. So sure, maybe not the most exciting of days, but from a health perspective and from a setup perspective, okay, doesn't guarantee anything, but it certainly makes it very valid to now throw out there, okay, maybe this is just a little bit of a pause before this bounce can continue. Much better than having the price just completely roll back over, which again, I realize does make a little bit more sense to those people that have more trading experience and have seen, stocks that make big bounces, and then all of a sudden the party's over the next day. But that did not happen here. So no, not exciting today, but a healthy day by just maintaining itself. And we did have, confirmation once again that it seemed as though it was more about 48.75. That level of resistance right there did indeed act as resistance. Again, you can see this morning got right up there and rejected by it. So that still remains the near-term area of resistance. Again, 48.75. And then from the overarching standpoint, all about that trend line right there. But before you put too much attention on this trend line, again, step one is, well, let's just see if the price can even has the strength to get up above 48.75. But all in all things considered from Thursday's big bounce, good to see that the price at least maintained those gains. Next one here, ticker symbol XELA. I've talked about this in the past couple of top 10 videos. And all in all, it's hanging in there. And this will definitely mean more to those of you that watched the past videos. But even if you haven't been talking about that green line, 260 as an area of support, I mean, check it out. You just can't make this stuff up. And I assure you, I have not moved that green line. If you don't believe me, I understand I could be a total stranger to you. All you got to do is go back in the video archives, watch the videos from past days, and you'll see that I put this line in place. And I don't say this to pat myself on the back, but I am trying to pat technical analysis on the back. I mean, a classic example right here that charts really do work. And you can see, like I said, came down here today, essentially bounced right off that green line, and then up it went. So for people that are, looking to scalp, I mean, that was basically a 40-cent move. And a 40-cent move on a sub $3 stock, that adds up quite a bit. Maybe some people are still holding, wanting to see a bigger bounce, which seems possible. That's, more than valid too. But the point here being is what I want to get across is 260 was that key area of support going into today, and it was tested. It held strong. So that is, of course, doesn't guarantee anything, but it does make it valid to be thinking, okay, maybe this is just a little healthy consolidation here. And then within the grand scheme of things, the price is going to begin to turn itself around. Next area of resistance, though, if there is going to be any sort of bigger turnaround, in my opinion, at least right up there at about $3.15. So $3.15, that initial area of resistance. And then after that, you can start to talk about more so the funner levels up here around the 360s and 380s. But before you get up to that area, like I said, let's just first see if the price can even get up above that initial red line right there. But all in all, pullback today, great to see $2.60 hold strong. So let's see if the price can now kind of catapult that into some momentum for next week. Next one here, the monster SGOC. And really the only reason I'm doing it is it's revolving around one big question. Is the party over, or is this pullback here going to be completely healthy? I mean, think about it right there. Look how nasty that pullback was. And then an absolute explosion. Now, let me be very clear. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that this is going to lead to another absolute explosion where this thing goes up to, $60. I'm not saying that. My point here is that, yeah, it's pulled back, but within the grand scheme of things, This pullback was also occurring on decreasing volume, so it's not like a massive amount of selling was going on. So it's at least worth keeping an eye on. Now, it really depends on your perspective. If you're somebody that likes, to see more confirmation before any sort of turning around, then to me, a good confirmation area seems to be right around the $13.75 mark. Or maybe you like to just play pullbacks, let the price come to you. And in that event, an area of support that stands out quite a bit, at least in my opinion, down there right around the $7.50 mark. But so those are going to be really the key levels right here. What would definitely be healthy is just actually some sideways action. Now, that may not be the case, and I realize sideways action isn't the healthiest of things, but like with AMC, I mean, this thing did move big. It is pulling back, but you just want to make sure that the price doesn't completely crash, by going down to 750 and then pushing down through there. So if at least as it goes sideways, sure, that means that it didn't explode back upwards, but that would also imply that the price didn't crash back down either. So that would be a nice little consolidation range. So keep an eye on these couple levels here, and we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, it's always smart to keep an eye on these very volatile stocks because, it showed that it can move today, but let's see if it can move again on Monday. Next one here, ticker symbol TBLT, and I like this just because it's very well defined. And I'm not trying to come across like any of these lines I'm about to draw require a huge amount of talent or that these were great discoveries. The exact opposite. And when that is actually the case, and a lot of people are watching the same levels, wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. It can actually produce some very dynamic movements. So the first level here that just sticks out very clearly is where the buyers have been hanging out. And that sits right down there at essentially the dollar mark, which is not shocking. The dollar is just one of those psychological round numbers, and we get confirmation of that where you can see basically 3 or 4 times the price was right down around $1, and to give full credit where credit's due, the price is held strong. Now, if $1 does not hold, I'm not going to say that destroys the chart, but what it does do is put it down in basically this no man's land. There just simply aren't any other data points that suggest other areas of support. So again, that doesn't mean that it's going to just drop straight down there and close the gap around 70 cents. It just puts it in kind of it's hard to gauge type situation because, like I said, there's just basically a no man's land there. But if the price is going to start to turn back up, then from the breakout standpoint, seems to be a well-defined area right there at the $1.12 mark. And then after $1.12, next key level up there right around, give or take, the $1.25 mark. So keep an eye on those couple areas if there is any sort of attempted turnaround, because those will be the main levels that try to prevent any sort of turnaround as resistance. But we'll see if the price can build up enough strength to push up through those areas. But all in all, it'll be a very interesting Monday. Next one here, ticker symbol DIDI, and been tracking this one for a while and finally got some of the movement that I suspected would be around. Yeah, the timing was definitely difficult because it was looking like it could be now. But the good news is, and I talked about this in past videos, at least DIDI was very polite. It never looked like it was going to be strong and then didn't. Right there, it looking like it was going to be strong, but then just gapped down. It's okay. Right there, started to bounce back upwards, and the next day, okay, we'll just gap down. But it was a bit cruel this morning. Gapped up, completely rolled over, but then started to come back up. But this is what makes it very interesting is, yeah, the price had a very, very impressive bounce, which now puts it right below a very interesting technical point of resistance, which sits there, give or take, right around $12.25. Again, like I just talked about, me drawing that line is not some sort of special talent. People that use charts, understand charts, have drawn that same line. And you're going to have a bunch of people watching $12.25. So if that level can break, no guarantees, but it's more than valid to think that could very well get the price up to $12.75, if not even higher than that. And then if the price can get up through $12.75, as I squeeze down the chart, that does create quite a bit of almost reverse no man's land, where you have this big area on the chart where there just really aren't any other resistances until up around $14. Once more, does that mean the price is going to shoot up to 14? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, technically speaking, the chart does start to open up at that point. But again, step one has finally been complete. Good, solid bounce, and then it's very clear that this 12.25 mark, has denoted a key resistance area. So let's see if the price can break through it next week. Next one here, ticker symbol CARV, and I really struggled. Should this one be on the list or shouldn't it? Because I think, and I could be wrong here, I think the party's over on it. But like I said, I'm human. I'm not perfect. I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, because this one's track record of showing it can move very big, you know what? It's at least still worth keeping an eye on. But the level here that I would definitely watch and, personally say, okay, what's the level to truly help gauge whether or not this thing is over or not? And that is this trend line right here. So let me actually change that to green since that's technically more of a bullish dynamic. And you can see that as of right now, the price is sitting right at that area. In my opinion, this trend line is about to fail. And after it fails, that's just going to pick up a lot more momentum. And I'm not saying it's going to head down there and close the gap. But like I said, it seems as though the party is over. But this is crazy. I could totally be wrong, and I'd have no problem coming back and saying, yeah, I got that one wrong, because there is this attribute of, yeah, but it's a very volatile, it's a very crazy stock, so you just never quite know. But as of now, things seem to be looking pretty shaky. So if the price does work its way back upwards, now the main overarching level is definitely right up here at the $39 mark. This rejected it a couple of times back there on Thursday, and then once again, Friday morning, right up there, presented a problem. So that's definitely going to be an area where if it can get up there and actually push up through there, I mean, that's where things could actually get pretty crazy again, because that would be a very significant breakout. But like I said, I wouldn't hold my breath. I'd be pretty surprised if it was able to get up there, let alone break above that area. But hey, I could be wrong. But as of right now, like I said, still wanted to get it, put on the list here, because I know a lot of people are watching it, but we'll see how things play out early next week. Next one here, ticker symbol PBI, and this one is on the list for two very simple reasons. Reason number one, good solid volume. And then the reason number two is there's a nice solid technical pattern here, and whenever you can combine good, well above average volume with technical patterns, doesn't guarantee anything, but it's at least a rational thought process to have, okay, I'm going to combine these two, because that can really, lead to some good solid movements. So as far as the technical pattern is concerned, well, the first part of this pattern right here, this resistance trend line right there, and then the other part of the pattern going to be down here. The lower part of the trend line, let me actually change that to green, because again, that represents more of a bullish area since that's a support trend line. And then for the rest of the pattern, for you golfers out there, that would be known as, let's try that again, the pull portion, then we'll put the golf hole down there. So in other words, this would be known as a bull pennant. So a bull pennant pattern here on PBI, and it becomes very straightforward. Who is ultimately going to win out? Are the bulls going to win out by working up here and getting the, in trading jargon, the technical pattern breakout, or are the bears going to win out where they push the price down and then push to the downside, which then eliminates this entire bull pennant pattern? But as of right now, bull pennant pattern on the big volume, so we'll have to see what happens with it. But yeah, definitely a lot of eyeballs going to be watching this pattern, and it goes back to that self-fulfilling prophecy angle of things. So let's see how the price continues to play on Monday. Next one here, ticker symbol NOK, and I'm gonna put on my tinfoil hat here a little bit. We'll see what happens, but this is a meme stock, not as big as some of the other ones. But what I'm very curious about after today, and I got to squeeze things down quite a bit, is I'm just wondering. There's an interesting pattern here, and the pattern has to do with that trend line right there, which again goes to the fact of, that's a very basic trend line. I'm not trying to proclaim that means anything special, like in terms of ability to see it and draw it. In fact, I think a lot of people are watching that trend line, including shorts. And it would not be shocking at all for shorts to be out there watching that trend line saying, we think it's going down, but at some point we have to exit the trade because we can't be looking at infinite losses. And looking at the chart, to me, it makes sense. Well, let's just get our stop loss somewhere up above that trend line there, because, and to the shorts credit, I can see what they're thinking. Right now, this area has continued to reject the price back downwards. So my point here is this, is if the price can work its way up to this trend line and eventually break through it. Again, maybe I'm totally wrong here. Maybe there's not any stop losses up there at all. But if there is, then yeah, you could think that this thing could get really moving, especially when you have that backdrop of the fact of it's kind of like a B grade meme stock, but it is still a meme stock. There are still people watching it and interested in it. And if that could, push up through there, then you could get some shorts covering. You could get some other meme breakout players coming in, and it could create a very dynamic situation. Or who knows, maybe the price doesn't ever get up to that area. But like I said, I saw the trend line, saw the pattern, and thought, let's at least get it mapped out, and let's see how it all plays out next week. Next one here, venturing down in the world of penny stocks, like I try to do at least with one chart every top 10, but DPLS. And I mean, what a trend on this one. And the goofy thing about this is, within the world of message boards and such, it doesn't seem like this one is being talked about that much. But I mean, look at this trend. Got to give credit where credit's due. When it comes to building trends, that's what it's all about. But on that note, I would say, and it is in the key dynamic here right now is that 17.5 cent mark. Certainly going to be that main breakout point. But and it's everybody's different. Everybody has different personal risk tolerance levels. But I mean, buying the breakout right there, that's almost chasing. Now, if the price wants to consolidate out for a little bit more and then break through it, all right, that starts to change the equation a little bit. But as of right now, 17.5 cents without doubt is going to be that main area of resistance. But like I said, I wouldn't call you crazy at all if you're like, yeah, I'd prefer to see a pullback and buy some sort of pullback within the overall uptrend, which again, totally exists. And from the pullback perspective, that's what makes this 15 cent mark a very interesting area. Basically would be a gap close. Now, let me be very clear. Gaps do not have to close. Nothing has to happen. That would imply that there's guarantees in the market, and there are not. But I mean, this was a former breakout point right there. So for the prices to come down to 15, at that point, that still doesn't guarantee anything in terms of having a winning trade, but it does definitely skew the risk reward, I think, a little bit better in your favor. Because right now, buying right there, that's taking on quite a bit of risk. But like I said, at the end of the day, the context is without doubt bullish. So if you're in a penny stocks and you're looking for uptrending stocks, I mean, this is definitely an uptrend. Our next one here, ticker symbol GALT, and this is one of those where, is it basically a gap and trap pump and dump type move? Or is this just some sort of overblown pullback where the price is about to just turn around and say, hey, that wasn't really that wasn't a reversal. That was just a healthy pullback and we're turning, back around. But as of now, to look at this with a leery eye, to look at this and say, I would say I'm with you on that. Because then when you stop and think about it, the price got all the way up to there. And a sad story, there are people buying up there. They're not going to have a good weekend. But it got up to there, and it just kept dropping and dropping and dropping, which, again, goes to the question now of, okay, was this just some sort of big old gap and trap pump and dump? Or maybe there can be some sort of consolidation and then, not necessarily reversal back upwards, but that's where, in my mind, and when I say reversal back upwards, I mean all the way back up to those previous highs. But in my mind, what really stands out is this area down here around $3.15. So for a couple of reasons, it was a former breakout point there. And then I'm also kind of splitting the difference there between those moving averages. But the point here being is, it could very logically come down here, find some support around this area, and then, start to bounce back upwards. Now, when I say bounce it back upwards, I mean, think about it. If you got in right there, you don't even need the thing to retest highs for you to have a profitable trade. I mean, even if it got up half that way, from a percentage standpoint, that would still be solid. But you also have to admit, and this is why risk management is very important, is you got to acknowledge the fact, but maybe this is some sort of dump. And if it gets down there and then just keeps going, you don't want to be one of these people that buys right there and then you don't honor stop losses, you don't have any risk management in play, and this thing just bleeds and bleeds and bleeds, and then you're sitting there holding the bag. So like I said, that's really what it comes down to. That seems to be the play to me is, if this is just a healthy pullback and it's going to start to head back up, to me, I'd let it pull back some more. But to be fair, maybe this is truly just one big old dump here, and it's going to keep on dumping. So, that's where personal risk tolerance comes into play. But, that is kind of the main interesting dynamic here on GALT heading into next week. So that wraps up the top 10 for next Monday. And again, I want to personally invite you to the live class. So if you did find interest, if you're seeing the value of technical analysis and using charts as a tool to develop trade plans to help you make good choices as a trader, then like I said, the class will be this Thursday, July 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Remember, Eastern. So get signed up. And like I said, you will learn all about charts, the philosophy behind them, why they work, how they should be used, how they can be used, my, use of them to build consistent strategies. And, you'll just have a very good framework to go from there. So like I said, if you're interested in learning more, or who knows, maybe you just want to improve. Maybe you're just thinking, yeah, I know about charts, but I'm always looking to get better. Then yeah, definitely get signed up. Like I said, I want to personally invite you. And then as far as the top 10 video is concerned, if you want me to keep making these videos, if you enjoy the format, 2 easy things to do. Hit that like button, leave a comment below, even if it's just a smiley face emoji. But those 2 things go a long way in communicating to me that you do enjoy this format. As long as I know that people enjoy it, people are benefiting from it, then I have no problem making these videos. But, I want to manage my time wisely. So like I said, I'm always looking for feedback in terms of whether these videos are worthwhile or not. So let me know via hitting the like button and then leaving a basic comment down below. So hopefully everybody had a great week. I look forward to, next week, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, hopefully everybody had a great week, and go get signed up for the class. And I love to talk charts, so get signed up, and I'll see you on Thursday.